How do you entertain a chat nonstop? Well, Gina, I gotta say, I am privileged in entertaining my chat because there is a lot of people talking in my stream. It is way harder to entertain chat when there's nobody talking. I will admit that first off, but couple of reasons why I like ways I entertain chat, I guess. Maybe this is like a me thing. Okay, but I did speech and debate for 7 years. So I did speech and debate from when I was in 6th grade all the way up until I graduated high school. I went to state for like the California State Championships for speech and debate. So I have a lot of background experience in talking. And a skill that you develop when you do competitive speech is the fact that is the skill to make BS up. Because typically what I did speech, so you memorize a speech and then you deliver it. And it's a 10-minute speech you have to memorize and deliver. Do I completely remember the 10-minute speech every single time I'm performing it? No, I forget it like half the time. But obviously if you're competing and you go up on stage and then you start talking about your speech and you're like, yes, you know, MLK said da da da, and you forget, and you stand there sputtering for like 5 minutes, you instantly get placed last, basically. So a skill that you learn when you do speech and debate, if you debate at a high caliber, is to make BS up until you remember where you left off at, and then you pick up from there. So because of my 7 years of speech and debate experience, I got really good at making BS up. Because I would forget all the time. Yeah, amigo. I did improv for a little bit too. Improv is so scary, actually. What improv is they give you a card with like 3 topics. You pick one, and they give you 10 minutes to come up with a 5-minute speech then and there about that topic. So yeah, like I got really good at BSing from all of that experience of speech and debate. But also maybe because of my ADHD, but I'm like, as a person, I can ramble on for a very long amount of time. So you give me one topic, I can talk about this one topic for forever, and I get distracted really easily. So I would start talking about one topic, and then I'll go to a different topic and a different topic, and then suddenly we started talking about boba, and then we ended up talking about Yuta weddings. I got stuck on Yuta wedding TikTok today, guys, by the way. Oh my god, that is crazy. But I'm just explaining the backstory as to why I think I am good at BSing a bunch of stuff on stream and talking nonstop. This is like from my experience growing up, and yeah, from when I was in like middle school to here. Yeah, ADHD, Juicy is like a superpower. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. Also, yes, I did get boba, Ghosty. Here's my jasmine milk tea. I also got popcorn chicken, but I finished it like before stream started. I couldn't wait. But if you are somebody who maybe doesn't have those experiences like me, who doesn't have ADHD, which is definitely a huge perk in helping you BS all the time, right? What are some things you can do to talk more on stream and to entertain chat? 1, constantly remind yourself to talk. So that was something that I would forget about a lot. And okay, this sounds so dumb. So let me preface this by saying this sounds stupid, right? It sounds so obvious. Like, of course, Kat, I'm gonna remember that I need to talk to chat. But when you're streaming, you are most likely, I'm gonna assume, playing video games on stream. What do you do in your off time? You probably also play video games. How often do you play video games where you're narrating your entire gameplay? Like you're talking during the entire duration you're playing the game. Even if you have friends and you play in Discord call with your friends, I guarantee you're not talking the entire time. Sometimes you're just streaming your game to your friends and you are not saying anything yourself. You're just playing and your friends are just watching you. Or you're talking here and there, but then like sometimes your convo would die and you just sit and call vibing together, right? It is not normal to talk through an entire duration of a live stream, which is like a couple hours long. It feels wrong. So naturally, when you're sitting and you're playing your video games and you're streaming, oftentimes you can kind of regress back into a mindset that you normally are in when you're playing games, which is like, I'm just chilling, playing my video games, you know, enjoying my time, because you're not used to talking all the time when you're gaming. So you have to constantly build a habit of reminding yourself, oh, right, talk. Like, let me say something. I had to build that habit up too, because as you see, I'm super talkative, right? Like I talk a lot, like I can easily entertain chat, but like 4 years ago, I was not like this. Like 4 years ago, I was not this like talkative. I was not this energetic on stream, partially because I was afraid that no one would like me if they saw who I truly was. Like if I truly showed my personality, I was afraid people wouldn't like me. So I would tone myself down to be more palatable to people. That's what I did. Now I don't care. If you don't like me, you can go somewhere else because I don't want you here if you don't like me. Also, hi Mystic. But I basically watched my VODs, and then after sitting through and watching my VODs, not only could I not sit through it because I hated the sound of my own voice, but I also couldn't sit through my VODs because I was like, oh my god, I am just so boring. Like, no wonder nobody watches my streams because I sit there. I'm playing Lulu support, which is already not like the most entertaining gameplay to watch, but you know, whatever. The gameplay is like very minimal to this, but I wasn't even talking. So I'm just sitting there, and I had a serial killer face, by the way, because of my monitor height, whatever, I would tuck my chin into my neck when I would play, and I'd stare through my eyes like this, and I'd play, so I looked like I wanted to kill people. I was not talking, and I was playing Lulu. It was like a trifecta of just doom. So obviously no one's gonna watch my stream. So after I watched my VOD, and I was like, wow, I'm so boring. I need to talk more. But it was so hard to talk more on stream. It took me literally like 8 months to learn how to talk more on stream, because I would be streaming, I'd be playing League, and then I would start talking, and then as the game goes on, as the stream goes on, I forget that I'm streaming basically, and I go back into the way that I normally play when I'm playing off stream, which is obviously not talking, because otherwise I would like bother my roommate and people around me. Like, ah! Bro, please, camera, I'm trying to cut this for YouTube. You can't be doing me like this. Okay, sorry. My camera does this every 30 minutes, haha, and it's a camera setting and I can't even fix it. Did you talk even if no one was there? Yes, I did. I did. It was painful, but I did. But yeah, so I basically, when I would play, I would constantly remind myself, like every time I'm playing and then I start regressing back into, you know, thinking as if I'm playing off stream, I'll be like, Kat, don't forget you're streaming, don't forget to talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, time to narrate my gameplay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe my enemy Kha'Zix is this bad, and, you know, continue talking. But then again, I would forget again, and I would stop talking because I would forget that I'm streaming, and I would just, you know, go back into playing League the way I play off stream, which is obviously not talking. And I would have to constantly build a habit of reminding myself every single time that I stopped talking. I would remind myself, bam, wait, no, I gotta talk, and then I would talk again. It took a really long time to build up that habit, and I would keep rewatching my VODs to be like, am I talking enough in my VODs? And I would rewatch it, and I'd be like, I'm still not. I'm better, but I'm still not talking enough. So constantly like rewatching my VODs, constantly actively making an effort to talk more. I just want you to know, talking the amount that you need to fill up stream feels so unnatural. I felt like at a certain point, I felt like, oh my god, am I talking too much, right? Am I talking too much? Because it feels so unnatural to talk on stream the duration that would fill up a stream. Because psychology, right? When are you talking? You are most likely talking when you're talking to another person. Unless you talk to yourself, then okay, you do you, bro. I hope your imaginary friend really likes you. But most of the time, you're talking to a friend, a person. So you'll say something, and then you have to stop talking to wait for the other person to respond. There is a period of waiting for their rebuttal where you are not talking. So in normal conversation, it already feels like you're talking a lot if you're filling up a lot of space with words, but you still have to make pauses for the other person to reply. On stream, you guys' reply is in Twitch chat. No reply is audible unless it's a text-to-speech.
It has been a bit since I donated, but that's okay. Anyways, sadly I have 500 in savings instead of 750, but that's okay cause I am getting paid on Friday, so Ima put my whole paycheck into savings to get to 900. Anyways, how's you been, Cat and chat?
Oh my god, okay, thank you for the dono, Ghosty, but that timing was scary. In conversation, you would have to pause to wait for somebody's rebuttal, but in Twitch chat, you do not. You do not have to do that for Twitch, like when you're streaming. So it feels really uncomfortable at first to stream and talk enough to fill up the entire space, because you're basically talking enough for 2 people, literally. And it's a lot of talking, and it feels really unnatural to get used to, so you oftentimes will feel like you're talking a lot, but you're not. Chances are you're not talking enough. Very rarely, I would really struggle to know a streamer, to even think of a streamer that talks too much, you know? Even Tyler One talks the normal amount. Even Tyler One talks a normal amount. Like, doesn't even talk too much. I feel like, in my opinion, there's no such thing as talking too much as a streamer. So it's really hard to build up to Yeah, maybe XQC I could argue, but he talks so quickly sometimes that sometimes you can't understand what he's saying. So I would say maybe that could be like the line. But unless you're hitting XQC levels, there is no need to worry about talking too much. And a lot of streamers that I've talked to, they're afraid of talking too much. So they kind of tone themselves down. No, talk a lot, dude. And here's a way to kind of go about it. When I started speech and debate, I always talked too quickly. And it took me a really long time to slow down my speech to a pace that other people can listen to. It was actually really hard. So the biggest one, my speech coach finally was like, cause she'd be like, oh, go slower. And I would go like marginally slower. Then my speech coach was like, screw it, fine. Talk as slow as you possibly can. Like literally read out the script as slowly as you possibly can. And then I had the script and I read it as slow as I possibly could. And then she was like, oh, that's a good speed. Now do it that speed. And I was like, huh? So instead of like marginally trying to make incremental changes, just make one huge change. It's easier to reel it back after making one overshoot of a change than making tiny little marginal changes upwards, because sometimes like your little margins of improvement are too small. If you do like one massive overshoot, you can like reel it back way faster. That's what she told me, and that was what worked for me. The fact that nobody clocked that I had ADHD back then, with the fact that I was talking like the speed of light, beyond me. But anyways, so if you're streaming and you're worried about your talking speed, whatever, hit go live and try to talk as humanly much as you possibly can in that one stream. You don't have to do a very long stream. It is very tiring to talk a lot. So maybe do like one game, like literally a 30-minute stream, play one game of League, one game of Valorant, whatever your game of choice is, and just try to literally fill up the space as much as possible with your talking, and then go back and rewatch your VOD, and then see your talking pace from like a second point of view. Be like, oh, is this enough? Is this too little? Like, we'll see. That's one that I would recommend you try to kind of like reel up the talking speed. Another one is just like, these are the common advice, but big common advice literally is like, what are topics you can talk about for a really long period of time, okay? Then like make note of these little topics and bring them up on stream. You know, it's okay even if nobody is watching. I can talk about boba for a really long time, you know? So even if nobody is watching, it's like, yeah, you know, I mean, just pretend there's somebody there. Just be like, oh, okay. Like, have any of you guys tried boba? Like, if you don't know, boba is like milk tea, but it could also be fruit teas. And there's these little tapioca balls at the bottom, and they're so good. They're chewy. So the texture throws off a lot of people, but it's absolutely delicious. Yeah, the Dream SMP lore. Also, another one is just pretend you're filming a YouTube video. Pretend you're filming a YouTube video and pretend you're talking to the camera. It is really hard to think of things to say though. And I would say like, if you're somebody that's also more comfortable talking, if there's people in chat, you would need friends for this, but do you have friends that you could possibly ask to sit in chat and just type to you? I did that on my first stream. I basically asked my friend, I was like, hey, I'm gonna stream for the first time. Like, I'm really scared. Can I be in a Discord call with you? And we just play a game of League together and we talk about it in call. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So that's how I did my first stream, because I was too scared to do it alone. So I did it in call with him, and he's the GOAT. We're still friends to this day. It's been 4 years. Well, I mean, I've actually known him since kindergarten. So since I was 5, I've known him for a very long time. But yeah, like those are definitely like ways you could try to talk more.